So here I am. I've arrived to pick up my new daily driver. What can it be? You know, I hasten to add, should I keep you in suspense any longer? No, here it is. Ferrari Roma is my new daily driver. Check this out. I got lucky with this one and just picked it up right now. And look at this. How did I end up getting a Ferrari Roma? Well, thanks to Ferrari of San Francisco, who look after me really well, they're giving me this car. And now here's the interesting thing. This car is an interesting proposition, and I'm going to talk about that on the drive home. But let's have a quick look what it looks like. First of all, here's the key. Look at that. It's got perimeter entry. It's Grigio titanium, which is a mid-grey, all black interior. Check it out. Absolutely cool. And we're just about to start it up. Do you want to start it up? So I'm going to get Manoj to get in and start it up so you can hear what this thing sounds like. Here we go. Rev it a bit, Manoj. It's not a bad car, is it? 3.9 litre. It's really good. You know, that's with the particulate filter. It's really amazing sound. What do you think of that, Manoj?
Sounds proper good.
It does, doesn't it? It's got the upgraded alloys on this one, the sports exhaust. It's also got the upgraded sound system. It's got the Magno Ride. It's pretty much loaded. The only thing really missing off this car is the passenger side display. Other than that, because it was their demonstrator, it's pretty much a fully loaded car. Really pleased with it. Let's get in it and let's go for a drive and see what it looks like. Hey everybody, it's next day. Well, actually it's Sunday. It got a bit dark last night, as you can see from the videos. The twilight was coming down. I was late on Friday picking up the Roma, and I just thought it wasn't worth trying to do video in bad light. The other thing was, when I got into the car, I definitely struggled to use the car. It wasn't intuitive out of the blocks. They got these latest touchscreen controls. I mean, I couldn't even answer the phone yesterday, so I was so distracted by trying to learn how to use the car. I definitely decided I was going to try and drive it for a day, which I did yesterday, which was Saturday, and I picked it up on Friday evening, and I actually I got used to it yesterday, so we'll go for a drive in a bit. But look at it, she is beautiful. The Ferrari Roma, it's just a beautiful design. It's a new design language. And why did I buy this car? Well, wasn't planning on buying a car, or buying a Roma. Those of you know, follow me on Instagram, Facebook. That's the only two places I actually post, and YouTube. I haven't done anything on YouTube, but I actually have a one-of-one tailor-made Ferrari 812 GTS arriving in April. It's no secret now that this tailor-made car is a GTS. I posted a couple of pictures of it in Primer going through the production workshop, but I got told it's actually arriving in April, and the production is done now. It's finished being made. It's in a special storage facility in Italy right now, and just waiting for a place on a ship to come over. Thank heavens it's not on that ship that just caught fire. Anyway, so it's waiting for a ship, and Ferrari won't send it to the port until they've got a proper booking on the ship to get it over here. So with that coming, and the estimated time of arrival was April, I actually really needed to think about rearranging my garage, I had to at least get rid of one, maybe two cars to make way for the new GTS. However, I looked at the market, looked at the current conditions, and I thought, actually, I've had a G-Wagon for 4 years now. Although it's a different one every year. 2018, I had the final edition of the old shape. 2019, I had one of the first new shape ones. 2020, I had another one. 2021, I had another one. And truthfully, going for a fifth G-Wagon, all you can do is change the colours. There's not really a lot else you can do, because I had all the options anyway. So I'm not saying that I was getting bored. I just thought maybe G-Wagon was not, and maybe the future of my daily driver was not a G-Wagon anymore. So I decided, to sell the G-Wagon. I also decided to sell my GTR Roadster, and I originally thought I might keep my Ferrari Lusso V12 and the GTS, two V12s. So I was planning on keeping two Ferraris in the garage. However, the Lusso, even though it's a four-seater, was still a car that needs a lot of attention to drive. This is sort of, for me personally, it wasn't getting and go like the G-Wagon or a Mercedes. And so I decided that, there was a lot of people anchoring after the Lusso. It's a V12, there was not many around for sale, and I put that up for sale. So the GTR was, the Mercedes GTR Roadster was one of 750, probably only 150 in the USA. And pretty much, I put them up for sale with the view that it was going to take a month, 2 months to sell. To my shock, literally within days, they're all gone. And I think partly due to the fact that I had customized them, and I sold them with all my customizations and the original OEM parts, so people could buy them with the custom way they looked, and they could put them back to OEM. And I think that's what made the difference for my cars, i.e. the G-Wagon, the GTR and the Lusso, that the investment I had made in the customization, somebody's going to get the benefit of it, and they had the OEM parts. It gives them a head start. And I think it also differentiated the cars I had. So when I got rid of all three, all I was left with was my Porsche 944 Turbo, and I was thinking of using that as a daily driver. It's capable of doing it, but I think it's just too old and risks too many things potentially going wrong with it. I mean, at the moment it's in great shape, runs great. I did a Breakfast Club rally run drive last weekend, or the weekend before, and it was great, never let me down. But do I want to make a 36-year-old car my daily driver? I decided no. There was a lot of things that don't stack up for making a 36-year-old car a daily driver. Now some people may do it, but for me it just wasn't stacking up. I will drive it regularly, I have a lot of fun in that car, and I'm just not going away anytime soon. So I started thinking about, what shall I use as a daily driver? And obviously you can see I ended up buying a Roma. But why did I buy a Roma? Well, I was looking at the new Mercedes S-Class. The Mercedes dealer was, I've got a good relationship, I don't pay list price for my cars. I stick with one dealer. I've got two brands. I'm a two-brand car. I'm a person, Ferrari and Mercedes, in terms of brand new cars. So with that loyalty, I also get loyalty. With that loyalty I show to the dealerships, I get loyalty back. And when the times are low, I'm a customer. When the times are high, I'm a customer. And so the great thing is, with both Ferrari, I've been a customer or a client of Ferrari since 2018. It's now 2022. It's been a great journey so far, and I've been a client of Mercedes since I landed in the US 2014. Anyway, you don't hear about my history. What happened? I started looking at the economics of the car market, which is interesting. When you look at the cars out there and the way the car market is, one of the things that it really is interesting is nearly every dealer out there is putting markups on brand new cars. And when you look at the markup on a brand new car, and you take out, and I finance my cars, by the way, I'm not a cash buyer, but whether you lease or take out a straight loan, if you pay an amount of money above markup, above list price for a car, then as soon as the market settles, and it will settle, I'm pretty sure it will settle, that immediate markup is gone, because the maximum value the manufacturer put on the car was MSRP. So I started looking around, even the cars out there, and luckily the Mercedes dealership, they offer me, because of my loyalty to them, and I won't go anywhere else. They offered me a price which was just for me. It's not, they don't do it for everybody because of the amount of money I spent. They offered me a decent price, which was maybe a little bit lower than MSRP, to buy another Mercedes. I have got a Mercedes coming which replaces that coupe in April anyway. That's my wife's, or it's a car I bought for my wife, which is a E450 coupe. We did order last year, special order convertible, so that's coming in April. So they haven't lost my business. I still got a new car on order with them. But again, they're very, very fair with me. When I start looking at other daily drivers, Mercedes became the option, and I thought, I don't want another Mercedes because, they treat me really fairly, and I didn't want to pay above market value for a car that I use every day because of the reasons I just told you. What's interesting, I was down at Ferrari San Francisco talking to the team there, and we started talking about the financial viability of using a Ferrari as a daily driver. And one thing that struck me when I had that conversation was that Ferrari on brand new cars do not allow the dealers to mark up over MSRP on brand new cars. And they must be the only dealer out there that I know, or the dealer brand or brand out there, that is not marking up brand new cars on MSRP. So that got me thinking, the brand's very, very strong anyway. On a normal economic situation, they fetch strong values. The Roma in particular is, pretty strong right now. People think it's an entry-level car. I don't consider it like that. I think this has got a specific purpose in the actual marketplace. It's a proper GT tourer. I think, unlike the 8112 or the F12 or the Lusso, this is slap bang in the territory of Jaguar XK, Aston Martin, Porsche. I would say probably better to use than the Porsche. Different drive to the Porsche 911. And it's one of those everyday sports cars. So I think it's not an entry-level Ferrari. It's a very specific Ferrari for a specific use. That's certainly my immediate impression of this car. Before you looked at the Ferrari California, and people used to ding it for being the entry-level Ferrari, and purists wouldn't like it. But this, I assure you, is as pure as Ferrari come. And why did I pick the Roma? Is because, in a year's time or in 2 years' time, and I change my cars frequently, guess what? On the used car market, it'll be worth at least the same, or if not more. Not because of the pandemic, but because it's a Ferrari, and it's taking a long time for manufacturing these cars. So I decided to pull the trigger on this one. It is a new car, it's new. I'm the first owner, I'm the first registered owner. I was lucky with this one. It was what we call an opportunity car, but because of my relationship with Ferrari and the timing, the fact that I've sold all my other cars, literally this car became available. And as a result of which, I ended up getting it. Now, it's not the spec that Mickey Mr. India would get. I would always get Larry colours. But what I have done, or what I will be doing, should I say, is I'm going to order another Roma in Mickey Mr. India colours. So I'm going to go for the Larry colours. And the good thing is, I'll be able to use this one in the meantime until the other one comes, which may be 15-18 months. And then I'll trade this one in. I'll probably be evens, if not a little bit ahead on this one. I'll get the other one in the Mickey Mr. India colours. In the meantime, I've also got the GTS arriving in April. So it's exciting times. So the Roma, why is this a Ferrari? Well, Flaviova Manantoni, the designer who's responsible for the design, has really, pulled it out there. And this is going back to the Ferrari 250 GTs of 1960. So the design language, if you look at it, is going back to old traditional Ferrari, where everything is fluid. You don't need to see curves and creases to highlight this car. It's in the surface area of the car that the whole design language pops out in the surface area of the car. The whole thing is fluid. The way the car's been shaped, and if you look at the pictures I'm just posting up here of a 250 GTO, if you start at the front, one of the things that you'll notice is the shark nose cone, and Flavio actually talks about it being a shark nose car. Now if you look at the 250 GTO, it also has an inward slant at the front, You know, so that's first part you can see there. You then look at the flow of the actual outside, and I think the design of the body is one of the most exciting things here. It is not an Aston Martin, it is not a Jaguar F-Type. You know, I think there's a lot of people out there, yeah, it's not. You look at this thing up front, it's not other cars. It's come from a design language which predates all these vehicles, and that you got to understand. It's not copying the Astons and the Jaguars. Go look at the 250 GT, which I've got up here, and you've got that front swooping hood which goes down. You come up here and you got the, and if you see look at the picture of the GTO, you got this swooping down at the back end. It comes from that era of luxury GT touring. So anybody out there who thinks this is a copy of recent manufacturers' designs like the Jaguar or the Aston Martin, think again. I would argue that those manufacturers copied Ferrari from back in the 60s, and Ferrari's just bringing back a design language that they already had. Now the thing about the 250 GT is it was designed by Pininfarina. Now this is interesting. So Pininfarina designed the design house. Pininfarina designed the 250 GT, and back in those days, you know, there was a lot of external coach builders who would design and build, you know, the bodies for the Ferrari chassis. And the thing about that is, if you look at Ferrari recently has brought all its designs in-house, and to take and when it did bring all the designs in-house, you know, people were a little bit upset because you had designers like Pininfarina, you know, and people thought that was the right way to go. But the fact that Flavio has picked up the 250 GT as his design inspiration for this car means there's essence of Pininfarina in this design, and that's really, really important. Now, people are saying this sets the new design language for Ferraris going forward, you know, with the and Flavio calls this the light jewels, by the way. So these are what he calls the light jewels, jewels in the lights. I'm not so sure if maybe the lighting perspective, maybe potentially, but does this set the design language for future Ferraris? I'm not sure, because I think this has a specific purpose, which is a GT Tourer, and the way this has been designed is because it is a GT Tourer. I will be surprised if you start seeing cars as fluid as this in its design becoming the future norm of Ferrari. I think Ferrari, what I've learned from Ferrari is that every car has a specific purpose, you know, and based on that purpose, the design is brought around for that. This is supposed to be understated, roll up, not be leery, not be in your face, turn up, people almost don't notice you. Although I would argue you still get noticed. But from a Ferrari perspective, it's supposed to be that, you know, discreet, you know, come in and get out. You know, that is how this design language has been created. Here's the interesting thing, you know, if you look at Ferrari, all Ferraris are not designed like that. So I can't see Ferrari's design language, or this design language, appearing on all the Ferraris across the range. I think Ferrari a little bit more considered in why they design things the way they do. And unlike Mercedes and BMW and other brands, you start seeing the design language across the model range. I'm going to bet that's not going to happen here. And I'm probably one of the only people out there that's saying that. So, and I spent a lot of time, you know, at the dealership. You know, I spend, you know, coffee and biscuits with the dealers down there, the team down at Ferrari San Francisco. And, you know, they're so passionate about the cars, you learn so much. And then you listen to Flavio and you think, you know, I can't see this being the design language for all the cars. And I hope it isn't, because I want this car to remain unique. Then what will make this car hold its value is if this is the only car that has this design language in terms of the shape, the fluidity. There's no creases, there's no corners. It's bulbous, you know, it's aerodynamic. Now, this car is amazing. Now, I'm going to get it PPF'd at the front, but what I've been told is that because of the way the aerodynamics work on this car with the shark nose and the way it works, it's not prone to chips. I'm not going to risk it, but it's an interesting thing. Anyway, so that's the car. I bought it as my daily driver. It was an opportunity car. I'm not going to go into details how it became an opportunity car, but here's the thing. A lot of you out there going, oh, it's all very well, daily driver Ferrari, but I'm no mega billionaire that can afford these cars. I'm trying to live my dream. You know, you live life once, and you've got to go and go out there and live your dreams. You can't just hope for your dreams to happen. You have to go and get your dreams. And the great thing about Ferrari is, you know, it appeals to everybody across the board. You know, it comes across as condescending sometimes, because some people think, you know, it's great for that guy, he can afford it. But no, I am somebody who's worked for a living. I don't come from, in a particularly, you know, wealthy background. In fact, come from meager backgrounds. The point is, a Ferrari is within the reach of you, you know, and even if it starts with something like this or a used Ferrari, you never know. I've been very, very fortunate. I've never bought a used Ferrari yet. The day I went in 2018 to get my first Ferrari, I was looking to buy a used Ferrari for the price of a new Mercedes. And what was amazing at that time was Ferrari's financial services actually made it lowering costs for me on a monthly basis to own a brand new Ferrari. The only trick is can you get hold of a brand new Ferrari when you need one? And that's the challenge. I've been very lucky in that respect, you know. So let's have a quick look at this car.